Howdy gamers! Alright, great to see you guys here. Even though we had a lot of, how should we put it, saturation in the fighting game market in the recent days. If you do like whatchamacallit, Arxis games and or anime fighting games in general. A couple of weeks ago we got, of course, Avatar released, and Marvel Talk-On came out just a couple of days ago, something like that. But yeah, glad to see you here for the good old Guilty Gear Strive. We are basically back from our brief little summer vacation of sorts. And now, for your viewing pleasure, we've got 6 handcrafted matches of Guilty Gear Strive from the EMEA side of the globe coming up for the next 3 hours, pretty much. Yeah, this is Bounty Hunters, and I'm your usual host of the evening, QK, talking you through the action tonight in our first to 7 show matches. Right, so what we got today? Managed to get one robot guy on the menu, which is a character that I was playing a lot myself. Very happy for that. In fact, going to be piloted today by RageWolf. We got a couple of Milius, a couple of Dizzies, so the Air Dashers extraordinary, or I guess not anymore. I was an old Guilty Gear brain. Dizzy, of course, is not multi-air dash anymore in this game. It's a very much of a different caliber of a character compared to old Guilty Gear, but I mean Milia still does. But Milia and Dizzy, both of those characters who are not necessarily like super well represented. So we got a couple of those tonight, a couple of Nagos tonight. We got Well on the Zato as well. We've got Oxa on that super duper high level Testament on the last slot. It's a lot of interesting matches for the evening. We got Trish in there with the Ramlethal. Yeah, it's gonna be super interesting. Lots of Spanish, Polish, German player showing up tonight, and in fact no Finnish players. Go Europe! Fuck those Finnish guys. Let's take over this event. All right, I think we could probably. What's the time? A couple more minutes before it is go time. We had a lot of newcomers today as well. Looking from the top side of the screen, we got Chooby on Dizzy. We got, I think Arazuki hasn't been on the show yet, representing Nagoriyuki. We got SlavWolf, of course, also on the Melia, slot number 3. And then also HC piloting that Faust in the matchup slot number 5. It's going to be an interesting evening with matches that we guess like don't tend to see in the competitive front as much, but that's kind of like the sweet thing about bounty hunters, or just about any of these events that we like non-double elimination bracket events. You can have a lot of fun stuff on display, even though those players don't necessarily make it till the end of the bracket. So like where you would usually see all of the like top 8 for example, and if the same guys and same characters always make it there, then naturally you're gonna be watching more of those matches overall. But the rhythm's a little different here. Hope everybody's having a good evening, and hope everybody is not having a scorching day at the moment. I guess summer is still at its hottest. Let's take out our cards. The first one would be RageWolf versus Chooby. So RageWolf, I think signed up for Kai, but also left a note. We can play the mechanical Kyle unit as well, and that just ended up aligning like really interestingly tonight. So first one is gonna be Robo versus Dizzy. I've actually played this matchup quite a bit myself as well, and I'm not sure. I don't play, of course, Robo at a very high level, but it seems like a very interesting matchup where you have to have a little bit of patience on the Robo side, but if you do have electricity and you do have your spots, then those high-level rockets are pretty decent tools against Dizzy, as long as you can get them off without, you know, getting swept off your feet with stuff like the Michael sword or her like ice spikes. So you gotta be careful with those. Of course, like ice spike, you probably respect a lot. There's gonna be a lot of dash blocking in this matchup, or simply just waiting for the ice spike and then setting up the electricity mat. That's one way to go about it as well. I mean, Dizzy probably doesn't want to engage without any of her stuff first. So like you're probably not gonna see Dizzy just running at you. There's probably gonna be some summons, probably an ice spike, probably setting up the ice floor, stuff like that. So you do find like natural spots to just take out the electricity mat and reload your batteries as Kai. Right, signaling the players that we are indeed good to go. We have warriors in the lobby. Lots of wolf tonight. First we got the RageWolf, then later we got the SlavWolf. We got all sorts of wolf, but now the wolf piloting mechanical Robert Kyle.
Mankind knew that they cannot.
A matchup we of course haven't seen at all yet, because it's DLC character, newest DLC character, Robokai, kinda new, and DC to a certain extent pretty rare. So super interested to see how these players pilot it as well. Let's see, I think the names are right, because we flipped the stuff around a little, so let's put the right names in there as well. RageWolf and Chooby. Alright, let's get it on. Immediately trading into that projectile, taking out the mat. This is going to be super important for Robokai. Basically taking out the electricity mat every opportunity possible, because as long as you got those resources, you not only have really great pressure options, but your presence at neutral is so much better. And most of Robokai's routes also route into the mat. As long as you can go into too heavy, the knee missile, there is an opportunity to take out the electricity charger as well. And here you can see RageWolf spending a little bit of extra time on that mat. You don't necessarily have to risk it against Dizzy, like approaching on her can be dangerous. Or she fills out the screen with all of these projectiles and stuff. You can kind of comfortably sit on the mat for a little bit, if you will. Which is exactly once again what did you do, Heavy? Getting a really nice launch here. And the Ice Floor does not notably screw up the combo. Had enough momentum going into it. Also rocking the good old Holy Orders question mark. Got caught by the icy skewer. That's the thing. If you're trying to put the mat down before the ice spike is used, you do put yourself in a lot of basically in a vulnerable state where Dizzy can get her stuff started, able to take out the mat, getting the full electricity, which is, I think, how much is it 30 or 20? I should know, for I've played this character very, very recently. I guess I played a little bit of Avatar in the between. Oh, nice challenge there with the far slash. 1, 2, 3 goes a little bit too close. So the cool thing about the 2 heavy is that it is extremely active. So you can basically go into point blank range as long as you don't do it too late. You can actually do it pretty early. And now the wings are actually dissolving here, or rather, whoa, fireworks! Chooby with the most unfortunate turn of events. I think she didn't have enough meter to sort of run the damage off the wings, and then thought that she was gonna get punished there. RageWolf on the trajectory out of the corner, but unfortunately the gold burst does not quite connect, and then forced to defend with no defensive resources whatsoever anymore. The dash 5 heavy. A nice limited conversion, and with this amount of electricity, we got a lot of stuff going on. One downside that RageWolf had to suffer here, if you go into the segue conversions or convert into the, what's it called? I guess the unicycle, this one, it's very easy to burst Robokai into the corner as an ender. So if your opponent is looking to steal corner from you, I'm not quite sure what you can do about that. Go with the limp missile. Still able to connect. And the trade keeping Chooby still in the corner. Finds the hit and gets the kill for this round. Because if you run below the level 2 electricity range, then your missiles will be so much worse. And having the level 2 missiles on board, super important for getting things started against Dizzy. And then on the other hand, if you do get the level 3, but here the wings are actually going off, taking a little bit of health from RageWolf, but probably still okay. I think the thing with wings is you're generally trying to look for a checkmate with those. So if you don't have the sort of the tension to deal critical amount of damage, it could potentially be actively harmful for you, because it's gonna suck all of your attention. Depending on, of course, the situation, there's a lot of decision-making going into this, this character Dizzy and her unique mechanic, the Wings of Light. The 2D there, immediate burst from RageWolf, gets the 6-speed anti-air and mixing it with the pony. And once again, good usage of FD from Chooby, pushing RageWolf away from the active range of the Guard Crush. Another super strong tool, and look at that! The jump heavy reaches all the way from there. Maybe they get a couple of electricity charges there. We have level 2 on board if we want to do it. The dash blocking forward for now. Notices the 5 heavy does recover quite a bit of time, so saving himself with the back RC. And now back to the usual dash blocking. General, ooh, trade. But in whose favor? Is it RageWolf? No, it was actually Chooby who had the life advantage there. Blinked and I missed it. Evens it up 1-1. But yeah, other than like the high level missiles, notably the level 3 missiles, Robokai doesn't have like any notable ways of like just skipping the usual like dash blocking gameplay that generally happens against Dizzy. Because you do, especially in the modern patches, you kind of have to respect the ice spike. It's so fast, it's so damn active, the hitbox is large, and like, yeah, it's generally you're trying to wait for it to go off so that Dizzy can fire it for a short period of time. And this was, ooh, okay, taking up the 5D, and with the 100 meters or a 50 meter should be enough to burn it all. The cool thing about this super is that you can choose if you do want to spend electricity on it. So you can get some really nice checkmate kills from even like pretty high amount of health, especially if you have like full electricity to spend. And you can also kind of, if you don't exactly have the 100 electricity, you can also choose to spend 100 tension for it. because the install super and the you know, the Mura super kind of like changed together naturally from basically any confirm as far as I can remember. Again, the nice timing on the burst here. Puts RageWolf in the corner as they were trying to end the combo in the segue. Ooh, is that just tried to go for a drone BRC drift, but drifts straight into RageWolf's close slash. Good old close slash. Nothing beats that as an anti-air, other than when it doesn't work. It shouldn't work as much as in the past, and I mean it doesn't, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it does and you're happy. Ooh, the very delayed segue cancel there as a frame trap. Basically bet the farm here. RageWolf really high on electricity. Look at those missiles, they actually don't track, but allowing RageWolf to move into a really nice position. 6 heavy, no cancel into, I think Pony is the only way that you can cancel that into a combo. Got them up the air. Electricity mat, we still have level 3, that's plus, extremely plus, but RageWolf ran up pretty deep there, so Chooby felt like it was appropriate to challenge. However, if RageWolf doesn't drop the combo, and why should you?
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Both players swinging wide at the round start. The 5 heavy though, that's such a good button. Other than the relatively high amount of recovery that you go into as RoboKai, the button is just all around fantastic. One of the like furthest reaching poke tools in the game, and I think, get this, it's probably the easiest poke in the game to hit confirm. Like, I shit you not, there's like, you can go brew some tea, make coffee, go use the restroom, then come back and still make the hit confirm really comfortably, even if you're not like super OG, you know, pro level player. It's one of my favorite features about that button. The jump in, gets in there, that should be, oh, unless we get a drop, and the point punish there. Good usage of FD, of course, Chooby was kind of forced to FD for her dear life there. And got a small opportunity to run it maybe back, but yeah, the life disadvantage kind of rough. So you're probably expecting to take a little bit of chip damage and expecting to block a little bit of incoming specials as Dizzy, even in this matchup, even if you like zone perfectly, because eventually RoboKai will have that level 3 missile, and those level 3 missiles will just go through. And you know what else goes through? The burst bait here. RageWolf looking for one more hit, goes into the segue cancel, spends all of the resources, and there we go, the limp missile, the level 1. Doesn't go very far, but as long as you're close, it gets the job done.
Duel 1.
It's actually an interesting tool in the air where it kind of arcs back onto the ground, so you could like use it as like a close range space control tool of sorts. Now Chooby starting strong, guard crushing for the fully charged 6 heavy. Robo into the corner, and as long as this ice floor is activated, Dizzy is usually at a pretty good position because she does not suffer the negative consequences of the ice floor physics, meaning she doesn't get the Looney Tunes like acceleration. She goes into full sprint immediately. Ooh, there we go, another really great activation for the Wings of Light. That was actually relevant this time. I mean, one of the occasions earlier was relevant as well, but really decent chunk of damage done here. Had enough tension to spend. The Wings, of course, absorbs your tension as long as it's active once it actually goes off, and keeps dealing the damage. And the damage is not, like, it is not negligible. It is actually quite a bit if you do have that tension to spend. Back to zoning. Got to predict. RageWolf dashing in with the close range pillar. There we go, nice missile snipe. Even the level 2 missiles are pretty good because they have a pretty low angle. So if you're trying to, you know, go under stuff like the jump D or maybe the chestnut or stuff like that, the level 2 missile might get there in time to interrupt the Queen Dizzy. Alright, RC to give up the pressure. Trying to yoink the corner position, but has to give away a little bit of space in order to go back to the zoning position. FD again, pushing Robo away. basically the antithesis of the Robo's Lucky Launcher, which is the Guard Crush tool, is, you know, distance between you and the opponent. Especially against FD, it's kind of tricky. So you usually would like to either go into the Lucky Launcher immediately if you want to use it as a Guard Crusher or like pressure tool, or you would like to, you know, go into it from like a 2 heavy, which is a projectile and doesn't really get pushed away much. Ooh, the second projectile, or second ice skewer there from Chooby. Got RageWolf, but now working the corner, 2 heavy to start it all off. Usually, whereas other characters generally start their pressure with a close slash, I think 2 heavy for a Robo is even better of a button than close slash. I mean, Robo can still work with the close slash and can go from close slash into 2 heavy, but going into raw 2 heavy is also extremely powerful. Got them with the low, and now with the 100 meter, do we go into... Ooh, misses the input, I think, and got the 5 heavy, unfortunately. Drift into missile. That's such a cool feature of Robokai, the 2 heavy, the knee missile. If you are in that position where you drift forward at the soft knockdown round start and the opponent tries to jump out, you don't have to play that minigame. You can just press 2 heavy, and no matter what your opponent does, they are basically jailed into the missile. 5 heavy through the fish. And smartly... Ooh, ended up actually going airborne there, so the fish behind RageWolf ended up still triggering the trade here. Oh, it was in RageWolf's favor! I don't think I've ever seen that interaction. I think the knockdown registered for RageWolf, therefore Chooby got bounced extra OTG by the ice floor. Interesting. And now Chooby activating the wings, finds the hit. This is big. We could spend those resources in order to force the situation. The wings looking like they are gonna go off. Never mind! At the last possible moment, Wolf finds a way to interrupt. But we're not done yet. Another pair of wings. Wolf could still choose to spend burst if they so desire, but playing it safe and going into the last round instead with a huge resource advantage now. 5 heavy, just a little too short. Missile, making up for the lost distance. Oh, goes for the throw, however, Chooby on the right Yomi layer, jumps again, gets them off the 2D on the way down, activating wings, and now here is hunting for that 1 hit. Gets a stray hit, and even a small hit, even a touch on the katana will disable those wings of light. And now RageWolf hoping to break the wall with a 6 heavy, although that could be also a miss input on the super. If I recall correctly, it is done with the heavy input. Wings. Gonna go off, but you do need to go close if you want to deal the damage. Here we go, triggering. Gets a little bit of damage, but not too much. I think RageWolf once again happily taking the damage and sort of trading it for the resource advantage here. As we all know in the Guilty Gear games, no matter which Guilty Gear, the meter is so important. If you have more than your opponent, you're at a great position, even if you do even if your opponent does have a life lead, I would say. But now RageWolf kind of short on electricity, trying to hang back and use the mat as much as possible. We got the level 2. And as long as the Segway is level 2, you do get quite a bit back as well. The Lucky Launcher missing again! Chooby so good on the FD. Missing the juggle. The frame trap missile, and then too much frame advantage for Chooby to get anything done there. RageWolf 2 games ahead once again.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Making use of all of those resources. Oh, there's a Lucky Launcher counter hit. Sweet hit. Even though it was just a couple of hits afterwards, Chooby took so much damage. This character is, I would say, pretty decent on the damage front. Robokai in general is, I would say, a character with all the stats in offensive, stuff. Doesn't really have any unique defensive options, and it's a little soft, but when you're in this position, when you are in the driver's seat or on the driver's seat, it's a really cool character to play with. Looking for basically 1 more hit. The level 1 missile does not go anywhere. Ooh, put on the brakes there with the BRC just before running into the ice spike. But but Chooby staying so tight, maybe a little bit too tight there, forcefully blocking almost everything, but eventually, especially if you're holding onto the FD, you are gonna run out of tension. Right, getting an instant air dash in, activating wings, putting herself in the corner. This is dangerous. Frame trapping into Segway again. Lots and lots of electricity available. Interrupting out of the Lucky Lounger. Okay, that definitely is a thing. If you do try to cancel like K buttons or D button, or like namely 2D into the Lucky Lounger, I think there is a gap there, if I recall correctly. Following it up, low electricity again with the level 1 missile. Does not get too much frame advantage even if it hits. Hoping to take out the charger. Yeah, good dash block into it as well. Working really hard to potentially get the level 2. But now finds a counter hit. Lots of resources. This should be a kill as long as we go into the super. Can we route into it? No, the 2D though! The 2D, the combo drop! And I think Chooby thought that she might have had enough frames to interrupt there, but no, the 2D activation from RoboGuy is already too far. Ooh, I think to get a little bit of extra there with the gold burst. But no dice this time around. Combo for RageWolf and activating the positive bonus for himself here. The 2D is a very dangerous button. It moves forward and it has more range than other characters, but if you whip with that button, it's another button just like the 5 heavy that puts you in a lot of recovery, so it's a dangerous button to mess around with if you can't find your target. Frame trap is blocked successfully and the dash blocking forward. Good patience on RageWolf. Understanding when it is his turn and when it is not. Minimizing all the risk. This is, in fact, I would say, one of the best showcases from our high-level players how to exactly play this Dizzy matchup. Because, like, Dizzy can be a horribly dreary, like, miserable matchup if you, like, don't have the basic gist down, which is usually, do you know how to dash block in Guilty Gear Strive? If not, well, you're in deep trouble. But looking like so far, RageWolf is completely fine, flowing around on the screen, and now picking her. Ooh, the close slash anti-air does not work this time around, understandably, and thankfully, close slash anti-airs should not be a thing anymore. Where the 2S from RoboGuy, such a nice button catching Chooby trying to backdash. Another testament to how the forward-moving momentum from the ice floor brings Chooby a little too close to the throw range, and a whiff punish, and a nice missile as well. Pausing to get the level 2 again. 6B, a little hard to convert on RoboGuy. Oh, and waits for the burst as well. RageWolf is on fire. I think we've had the download, and now we've got the disconnect. Unfortunate fact of the matter. Hopefully they, on the token side of things, don't have this thing. Wishing all the best for TOs who are streaming that game. Let's see if our players notice. Would be pretty unfortunate to miss the last one here. Okay, looks like players did notice. So we're gonna do some magic tricks to get back to the lobby. Also, sorry that I missed it. It's been pretty full throttle from the get-go. Howdy, gamers from Karama-chan's stream. Welcome. This is the first matchup of the evening. A little late there. That's always been my my weakness overall as a streamer, and especially when hosting these events, is like it's a little hard to keep up with, you know, your players on the Discord side on one screen, and looking at the gameplay screen, and then commentating the gameplay, and then looking at Twitch chat. It's a lot of stuff to do alone. And arguably, like, I'm not the best at it either. But yeah, I guess the gameplay footage is the main selling point here. You're not here to you know, talk to me, are you? You're here to watch the cracked players show their skills at Guilty Gear Strive, and let's see if Chooby can still show something here. Down at another desperate point disadvantage, but it is certainly looking relatively comfortable for RageWolf here on the first match of the evening. This is with the 2S. It's okay. 2S is one of those great buttons. I mean, it is whiff punishable, but it's definitely better than... Ooh, look at that! The deep dash 6P going under the rocket. And taking out the chestnut, preventing RageWolf from coming in, but look at the range of the far slash, or rather the startup. Getting the wall break. What do we do? Do we drift forward? Yes, indeed. Cut the backdash. That's a punish text. And Chooby using basically all of her resources in order to get something done. Get this robot off of me. Activating. Ooh, that was a great prediction. Putting a 2K out there and expecting Chooby to skate forward. Which is exactly what she did there. Comes up with the jump K. Wings again. Yeah, and this is kind of like a really nice mini game that you can do on Dizzy, where the chestnut does have a... Like it's very hard to interrupt once you get into the loop of, you know, looping it from a button that, like, especially against a character who doesn't have a DP. Ooh, able to block. It still activates. Misses with the 2S. Does have a very nice life advantage, so Chooby could still be in it to win it. Oh, but there's the 5 heavy again. The button of choice to win all neutral interactions. It gets a little bit too close, the reversal throw, putting RageWolf into the corner, and that, I think, is enough with an OTG. Doesn't even need it. Okay. Resource advantage. We got the burst. RageWolf doesn't have one. Goes into the Michael Sword, but the very aggressive advancement from the round start from RageWolf gets the first hit, forcing Chooby to put all of the burst down. Can jump here. Yep. Tries to jump and activates the anti-air fish. The high fish is so good. Kind of forces you to just like skate forward, and skating forward is tough when the ice floor is active, but now goes into the combo. The wall gives up a little too early. Lots of electricity. This is a good position to be for RageWolf, especially if you're below. And here comes the mixer. Nobody blocks that. Absolutely nobody. The limitless options that you can run from this pony. The jump slash, the multi-hit. Is it 1 hit? Is it 2 hits? Is it 3? Up to what, like 5 hits? One of the best natural mixing options in the game. Guarantees the first set in RageWolf's favor. But good first showing for Chooby as well. This is, of course, going up against a slightly more seasoned player on their alt characters. Always tough challenge when you you're gonna take something like that on. Moving on, I think we're doing this matchup first. Mary versus Arazuki before the matchup that we had to delay initially. It was the Slityn versus SlavWolf that we were sort of planning to play on the first slot, but had to be delayed because of scheduling stuff. So now, Milia versus Nago. The fast girl versus the infamously hard-hitting absolute truck of a character that is Nago in Guilty Gear Strive. Emilia has to be really careful in this matchup. One anti-air is a small snowflake that could slow, or I guess like depending on the anti-air, you know, too heavy, close slash, 6p, like pretty much all of it goes into like crazy conversions. Like just about any anti-air on Nagoriyuki's account can set forward basically an avalanche that is hard to stop. Especially since like Emilia doesn't have like all the best defensive options in the game either. She does have a meter reversal at least in Winger. And of course, you know, having a good backdash, having an excellent jump. Those are, I think, like having a good jump is one of the best things that you can have in Guilty Gear Strive for defense. Like as much as we talk about, you know, DPs and stuff like that, what was that cancel there? That looked really funky there. But Mary finding the hit. With punish here. Using the numerous air dashes plus the everybody's favorite special move, Capel, which basically gives her, I guess, like a +1 command air dash on top of her like double air dash. And this is where it could start. Arazuki ready to spend everything, forcing the wall break, getting a lot of blood back as well. But Mary with a 50, drifting forward, not daring to press a button there. It is a 2S, and at low blood levels, I think that's very slow as well. Is it like 13 frames, 14 frames, something like that? 12 frames? Ooh, trying to throw back, trying to throw forth, trying to throw everywhere, but Emilia keeps flying around. Lots of blood spent. Kind of like that, using the wires here to put brakes on the mix-up of Arazuki. This could be okay. Was able to swipe the Klarna there, swipe the credit card in order to not pop. I'm not sure if Arazuki would have popped there, but just in case, might as well. Usually when you basically reach the level 3 territory, if you go, oh look at that, the jump D. Unfortunately, from that position, like not very easy to follow up with, as far as I understand. 2B2P into Mixer, finds the hit, 2D into Heavy Meaty Disc. You already know what kind of goodies that's gonna produce. There, a lot of delaying momentum there with all of those air dashes and the Capel. Ooh, trying to go for like some sort of an FRC conversion. Probably because Arazuki was so low that Mary thought that, okay, I can just FRC and just end it right here. Beyblade hits. We are in, but the work is definitely not all finished. The bite, relieving the pressure on the blood front, as is this super, one of the primary features, or one of the, in addition to the massive damage that it does, some of the other features include blood pressure reduction. And now with the clean, oh, but recovers from the Beyblade straight into the Capel Rose. Mary starts it up 1-0, evading all of those powerful strikes. Right from the get-go, be careful if you take a counter-hit DP from Nagoriyuki from round start. That could be probably like 70% of your life if the Nago player wants to burn everything. Oh, nice hit there with the jump K. Arazuki taking their chances with the burst, not able to get out of there, and Mary stealing the corner in turn. Emilia, one of those characters that can like very comfortably do that naturally. Get the break, back to the neutral. Now the life situation is not as overwhelmingly one-sided that Mary couldn't that Mary could afford to not, you know, sweat a little there. Oh, there's the hit into very respectable damage, and now starting with the 5K, the pressure, jump D pulls Mary back onto the ground, nice read, finds the frame trap, back Fukyofar, slash, very classic maneuver. Jump K even hits from behind, and Jump K is one of the best in the game. Although, at the same time, we could say it from the other angle as well, Jump K for Emilia, one of the best in slot for that kind of function that it fulfills. I mean, all of her air buttons are just absolutely magnificent. Can't really pick one that is better than the other. Coming down on the Klarna swipe. So now Arazuki. Ooh, that too heavy there. I was about to say it might be on the in the danger zone and potentially popping if we don't get the kill before the loan runs out, so to speak. Escape from the corner. Nice tag, air to air. Here comes DP. The first hit actually misses. I thought that was gonna land. That's kind of tricky as well if you're expecting the hit stop of the DP first hit to go online, but it just whiffs. Can create some really hard to react situations. Such as, doesn't go for the second hit this time around, and now Mary's time to mix, and here's the brain destroyer. Now I remember again, Mary really loves that. When you got the opponent where you want them, when they're respecting your offense, going for the empty land 5D, and it works out. I wonder, I don't think I've ever seen a situation where it doesn't work out. Mary's just like absolute beast with that. Of course, you can't do it every single time. You have to, you have to stick to your usual guns. You have to stick to the basics and do these basic like left, right, high-low mix-ups, and then like once in a blue moon, you might throw in the brain destroyer. Got them with the far slash. Milia, of course, working with one of the fastest in the game. Conversion. And these 6 heavy swipes ending the combo, bringing a decent amount of life back from the amount that we had to spend to make that combo happen in the first place. Jump D, counter hit. Is that enough to go into anything? Oh, just skating in there and biting for the win. I think that's probably the best that you can do from that distance where the opponent is not in the corner. You're probably not gonna combo much as Nago. And the jump D has been one of the go-to tools for Arazuki so far, considering it's one of those tools that can reach an angle that many other characters can't really occupy. And I think the jump D also gets better with blood levels, so especially keep in mind when Arazuki goes into that level 2, level 3 territory. And now we have to protect ourselves against this barrage of mixes, lows from the front. You're always like, I think on layer 1, thinking about the cross-up. Ooh, got the 6P counter hit in there. But now a little bit too high on blood. Blood pressure does get relieved, but the Fukyo forward that Arazuki did not spend would have probably had to spend 2 Fukyos in that situation. Activates the Klarna, but however, Mary coming down with a very nice angle won't give Arazuki an opportunity to use the jump D again. Ooh, but we got him! Even with the small combo drop, we are still in a pretty good position. Need to intercept from the double jump though. Yeah, the corner boxing situations for Nagoriyuki against Milia are slightly different than you probably are used to usually. Because like other characters just can't go as high as fast as Milia can. So more often than not, if you're basically picking the wait option, you're waiting and seeing what the opponent wants to do. You better be ready with one of your anti-air options. Oh, nice whiff punish there. Barstow slash confirmed. Quite a wall break, but I think that is according to the plan. Hitting the jump K from behind again, and the frame trap. Drift back from the Fukyo, far slash slash, you already know. One more hit. Mary could drift forward. Ooh, but what was that? I think might have tried to throw there, but judging by the frames from Arazuki's Nagoriyuki, that might have been a frame that cannot actually be thrown. Or alternatively, it was already so deep into the startup frames that there was no poking it, even with like a 2P or 5P from Mary. Difficult situations, places like this, where you're trying to like sort of quickly decipher. Ooh, that was a nice whiff punish on the S disc, or with the S disc. It was a little bit too close. Of course, Nagoriyuki with the extended throw range. Slightly annoying thing to deal with if you're used to just standard throw range of Guilty Gear Strive. Nago and Potemkin do have a couple of extra pixels there on that normal throw. Place the RPS. Ooh, and baits that throw there. Yeah, at that point, it's, I guess, like, almost a done deal unless Arazuki wants to gamble with like a deflect shield or just send a reversal super. And I think a lot of the times even like 9-framer reversal supers are not good enough to counter Milia's like basic setups. Got them with the throw, setting up the situation again. Corner steal. Mary has the juice as well. Chooses to reset it. And now whoa, just hits a close slash. Are you kidding me? Arazuki, no fear. I think recognizes that the disc setup there was not meaty. I actually forgot what the ender was there, but I guess loose enough to get a close slash in. What a beast. Mary still takes the round though, with the classic back Fukyo into Beyblade round start. Basically beating every single standard normal option from round start that could be unleashed in most matchups. Good block on the TK Bad Moon. Oh, but how was Mary blocking? Was actually on the backside, on the right side. And now throwing that Brain Destroyer, getting maximum amount of damage in. Both players with a lot of resources. Blue RC to basically, I guess, throw off whatever Arazuki could do there. And or enable some nasty combo routes or mix-ups. I mean, when it comes to mix-up, oh, nice angle there. Dwelling just outside of the jump D, like Nago jump D range. And then striking from the skies. Again, look at this spacing. Oh, wait, was that a 5D or a close slash? It kind of looked like a 5D. Maybe a misinput, maybe a happy little accident. I don't know, but Arazuki does have a very nice advantage going into this. Spend the juice and combo into the big 6 heavy with level 2 or even level 3 or even level 2. Extremely damaging single normal. Good use of the jump K again for Arazuki. Trying to intercept again, but the angle is not quite right this time around. It's really hard to judge like on a moment's notice what air normal you should be using depending on the situation. It usually comes down to what are you reading the Milia is gonna do. Are they gonna advance on the ground? Like if they get a jump off, how are they gonna jump? Is it a double jump? Is the air dash? Is there gonna be a Capel? Lots of different stuff to consider. And now with the super jump forward, able to get into potential checkmate position. Deflect shield does find some value, but unable to run out of the corner into the green free postures where happiness could have been potentially found, but nah, Arazuki says no. We're taking this one home. 3-2. And now potentially looking to warm it up. Nice check. Checking them forward Fukyos, as they say. But now, back throw incident. Waits out the gold burst as well. The patience of the Saint. Attack him with the far jump D again. Setting up a little bit of Oki. Jumping out from the Lust Shaker, huh? Both players opting to play the air quite a bit. And now going in without the disc. You have mix-ups even without our trusty old... What was that frame animation? Close slash ends up whiffing. In a previous patch that would have hit, but this time another close slash. Able to be unleashed from a position where Mary no longer could defend herself. To be the Milia player, you need to become one. I feel that. I mean, to be able to get Milia out of the sky and not have to deal with the super annoying angles of her jump-ins. And believe me, those jump-ins are really strong. You do have to kind of align yourself with her. Ooh, nice normal jump shimmy there. And now, taking a little loan. I think Arazuki should not be in the danger zone of popping, so can disengage from this mode pretty safely. Yes, indeed, and the 5 heavy anti-airs Mary on the way down. Momentum has been achieved, and now can we accelerate even more is the question for Arazuki. Starting with the S-disc off the round start. Arazuki is trying to find the angle. Opting to burst the first meaty setup disc. Something that I also, the frustrated old me also subscribes to quite often. Ooh, that was a nasty mix-up. Takes the corner. And now with those resources, ooh, same side. Are you familiar with melee attack is the question. Able to FD off the sky. Sets up the blast frames with the Septum voices. I thought that was gonna take the corner, but no. And then she takes the corner. Absolutely crazy mix-up potential on this character. But I don't need to tell you that. You already knew. Not time to guess again. I could take this to the corner, but I think for the most part she's been opting to forego a little bit of the combo damage if you don't have the kill and set up the nice little resets that you can go for even without your discs. Scrape them off the wall. Positive bonus, life advantage. Ooh, snipes with the jump D. No counter hit though. That is a counter hit though. That's a tried and true vampire samurai slash. Not fast startup enough though to overcome the S-disc round start apparently. How fast is that thing? I don't want to pull out the frame app and see. Super jump, not contested. Ends up having to spend the 50 meter for the YRC in order to keep Arazuki in the corner. However, the timing is not quite right. The back turn incident could be very nice for Arazuki here. We still have at least one bar of blood to be spent for a special move, but no need for that. Grab her by the collar, smack him down, and take the commanding position in this set for the first time.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Very early burst here for Arazuki. Ooh, stealing the cross up there with the jump K again. Arazuki has been really great with that. Now, nice turn to turn on the heat. What is it gonna be? Turbo fall into a throw. Keep your eyes open. Melia has a lot of these like sort of semi-reactable things like, you know, Mirage from block strings or, you know, Turbo fall from certain positions that she can kind of use to. Ooh, but the blood explosion here! This could be good or extremely bad. Definitely some sort of big plays are gonna happen. Spends everything, misses with the fire slash, even with the OTG. Oh my goodness, both players with no health whatsoever. And look at this, all these blood to be used. Samurai mix was definitely coming. The good old samurai mix, which I guess is not a thing unless you have the opponent on their last legs, right? Because like unless you can threaten with a chip kill, the olden days samurai mix doesn't have like that much threat anymore. Ooh, got them with the jump D, and this time able to combo off a bit. Very nice, as they say in the movies. Now, Mary misses the combo and gets close slashed in the face. I think that's a kill. RC, super, available. If you want it, there was 101 different ways of ending it for Arazuki. Ooh, make them pay for their mistakes. That is basically what this matchup is all about. Melia generally holds the keys to make the plays first, but if you swing a miss and Nagoriyuki hits it home, you already know what's gonna happen. Like so, for instance, from a harmless looking little 5 heavy, able to get the pressure rolling, and now it's on Mary's court in order to try to weather the storm and get out of this sticky situation. But Arazuki sticking to Mary like a stamp, like a you know, recently newly licked stamp on an envelope. That's a is that the best I could come with in the moment? Alright, not willing to slam with the second hit of the DP. Mary gets out of there. Looking for the whip punish. Ooh, doesn't get to swipe the credit card. and now in a position where that's probably all that Arazuki is thinking about in this high plot situation. How can I go into Yukimo? How can I get into a position where I can actually spend and threaten with stuff? Because like if Nagoriyuki can't spend any special moves, like if basically Fukio threatens a pop, then what you're left with is nothing but walking around in super jump. Deflect shield. Able to get her out of there, in and out. Oh my god, even if she's in, even if she's out, even if she's back against the corner, depending on the position, depending on the frames, Milia might still be nixing you. Double jump coming down from a very nice angle, making Arazuki miss that too heavy, I think that was. And then into the combo. Nice knockdown, I think. Did we hit the button here? No, and it's gonna completely miss as well. Blocking the super from that high angle might have been almost impossible to punish potentially. Mary working to even this up a little bit with the left right. Ooh, it's not enough though! It's not enough! And she throws away the last bit of burst. The deflect shield ends up missing, and now we are in the danger zone officially. The jump lead from Arazuki misses though. Okay, Mary's still okay. Ooh, that was looking dangerous there for a moment. Right, might take this opportunity to actually check the frame. I wanted to check some frame data from Milia, but I forgot what it was. It was what was it? Oh yeah, the startup of S-Disc. Is it? So it must be like a 10 framer, right? Because DP from Nagoriyuki is like 11 or 10. No, the S-Disc is actually 12 frames. Is it? Is it just because it has like a very retracted hurt box then? That it works against the DP? It's kind of like my guess. Or is it like from a backstep? I gotta keep like a keen eye on how Mary keeps playing the S-Disc round start. It could be with a backstep into an S-Disc as well. There's a lot of variety for like stuff like that in Guilty Gear Strive. Especially since like compared to older Guilty Gear games, there's like way less like forced proximity blocking. So like you can actually walk away from a lot of stuff at round start. A feat that wasn't actually possible in old games. In old games, like walking back at round start basically wasn't a thing, really. Not like it is in Guilty Gear Strive. Because like proximity, like if the opponent hits a button, you're basically in proximity block and have to contend with the button immediately. Therefore, like in previous games, you would like committedly hit more buttons at round start, or just backdash or jump out immediately instead of walking. It's kind of like one of the aspects that I really enjoy in this new age of Guilty Gear. Like having the opportunity to play footsies right from the get-go, right from the round start. It's a really cool feature, in my opinion at least. Even from an old held Guilty Gear player who generally likes their older Guilty Gear games, like credit where credit's due, is like that's like probably one of my favorite features of Guilty Gear Strive. I'm checking Nago's DP startup as well, just in case. It is 11 frame startup. So then that must mean there is some strange fuckery going on with like the early startup frames of S-Disc, or then movement options. Backwalk is always an option. This one is a nail biter though. Ooh, I wish we could have seen this. Who's gonna take it? Last hit for either player. This decides a lot, looking like it's gonna be Arazuki. So Arazuki's gonna move into the 6-point territory first. But it is not over yet. 6 points for Arazuki for Mary's 4. Mary started it up extremely strong, but Arazuki was able to build a little bit of momentum towards the latter end of the set, and now pushed figuratively back against the wall. It's up to Mary to make the plays and recover this set for Team Milia. From a 6P counter hit startup, Nagoriyuki, I want to say Nagoriyuki like one of the nastiest characters in the game when it comes to like 6P reward. Like not necessarily even anti-air, but no matter like how the 6P hits, you generally, because of the nature of how Nagoriyuki works and how you can cancel into all of these powerful special moves to make combos happen, yeah, naturally you have pretty good combo routes, even from like more prorated starters like a 6P. But Mary, look at this. Blue RC, both players going for it. However, this still activates, and Arazuki has no option but to respond, or rather to respect it. I mean, was already pressing a button there, I think. Speaking of the 6P, even a 6P ODG into a 6 heavy. Such a big hit. Missing just barely with the jump D this time. And now, time for Milia to start the mixer. As they say in the industry, you're in the mix with DJ Milia. Ooh, that looked like maybe a little mishap, but you know, as one of the sages of our time said, happy little accidents and all that. Once again, utilizing the Capel to plummet yourself forward. I think this is gonna miss right unless Mary pressed the button, but she didn't. She didn't. Now look at that, how fast. That was probably one of the fastest games of this set. Mary, not ready to give it up just yet. And why should you? Why would you at this point? It's just two games away. Previously 3 games. Ha, that's easy. That's just the perfect tournament set. It's a double elimination bracket without dropping a game. How hard could that even be? Swiping with the 2 heavy. Mary gets out of there, fakes an escape, and then comes back. Attacking them with the TK Bad Moon. Without 50 meter, there's not like super massive damage that can be done out of that. With Punish, tries it with the super. However, a little bit late there, Arazuki still getting the opportunity to jump out. They're trying to find an angle here. There we go. Goes in with the shimmy. Arazuki bites. But then on the follow-up situation, I mean, it's a very common thing for Nagoriyuki players to reach for that throw, as we were talking about earlier. It has that extended range on the normal throw. Arazuki, set point. Attacks them with the second hit of DP, which is the overhead part. Deflect shield. Doesn't dare to attempt the whip punish there. Understandable. It kind of looked like the far slash would have actually still connected there, but now we go low. And then, what then? No scraping off the wall this time. Oh no, lands straight into the throw, and this could be it. Arazuki doesn't have the meter to spend, but goes into the bite. Bets the farm on a throw. We put it all on black. And the ball rolls onto the right sector on the wheel. Arazuki secures the set 7-5, but really great battle there, back and forth all around. Mary starting with the momentum at the start, Arazuki coming back, taking the lead, looking like it's gonna be desperate, but then Mary able to still weather the storm just a little bit and make it really interesting. Really good back and forth set. Now, let's see if we have Slit. I think Slit is ready to go. I see both players in the lobby, or rather, I see Slit in the lobby. So next one would be a little bit of what was in the previous one. SlavWolf First time on Bounty Hunters, piloting that Milia again, facing off against Slit's Happy Chaos. Flip the names around like so. And then we're ready to play some good old Guilty Gear on the good new Happy Chaos. Straight out of the oven. I guess there's been a little bit of time to bake the new variation of the Happy Chaos for, you know, a couple of months now. More than a couple of months. Has it been like almost half a year now? I forgot. Time flies really fast. Shooting it out, Deus Ex Machina, this should be safe still. Yep. Unless you end up like literally point blank out of Happy Chaos. Should generally be pretty a-okay even if you wanna shoot it out. But I think in the modern patches does notably not recharge your bullets anymore, or does not reload your gun, if you will. The block string not tight enough, so gets thrown in the corner, and now Wolf assuming a hunting pose. The shot ends up whipping there. Still with the not exactly the same old problem as Happy Chaos used to have. No longer has any RNG factor as far as I'm aware on the shot, but instead has to spend certain amount of like a predetermined amount of time in order to home in the reticle on the opponent, which instead of the old like RNG shot or needing to go for a normal first, turns it into a do you dare to advance on me, like can you advance on me fast enough so that I can't get the reticle, you know, locked in on you before you do. The burst off here, Slit. There's the far slash as well. Ooh, leaving the scapegoat behind, initially in front, but does not defend you if you go past it. Still be anybody's game, both players. One good hit away from ending it. Ooh, gets the hit! Can we bring it home? Drops the combo, gets the concentration. Still in a striking position here. Shot. One shot could end it. One shot through the heart. And who is to blame? What happens next? Curse on as well. Because the curse also remade from the previous version. Everything is remade. This is not quite the kill, but can set up the disc here. Goes cross up, overhead, and takes the first game. SlavWolf strikes first, takes a bite out of the opponent.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Like a hungry wolf that they probably are. Ooh, nice usage of the scapegoat there, preventing Wolf from running in. In fact, trying to do so, but I think is like generally, or like what happens in the modern patches, if Happy Chaos is in range, the scapegoat no longer like takes the hit for you per se, but it does like prevent the opponent from running through, which is exactly what happened in that interaction. Oh, but still looked like Wolf was already queued up with a normal, but maybe a kata cancel opportunity there past the post flash. Shoot your shot into a mix-up, converted into a throw though. Didn't believe in the shot, in the hit. And now Wolf, still an opportunity to bring this round back. Ooh, initially missing there. That was really tricky, so I think like the first frames of the last shaker not connecting, but like depending on what you do afterwards, like for example standing between crouching could extend your hurt box a little bit. In addition to like other movement options such as jumping. Setting up the scapegoat, running past into the mixer. We go. Goes bust on the concentration, but luckily that is the resource that naturally comes back in due time. Are we mixing? The slowdown into a throw, and then the stutter step backward for a shimmy. Plus frames here. Ooh, but Slityn not threatened at all by the prospect of the close slash. Presses close slash of his own. Gets mixed up though in the end.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
Very, very deep dash close slash. That's like one of the most anime fighting game round starts that I've ever seen. Swinging a miss, able to still get in with a close slash, and now, of course, working with a very standard close slash. Even if you don't get to set up your, your jump in mix-ups or your discs or whatever, there's always the good old close slash that you can trust on with these standard characters. We still got the shot there. I thought Wolf was initially pressing a button there, but got interrupted by the shot that already had locked in. Slityn evens it up 1-1.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
And there we go with the curse. The curse in modern patches does have a hitbox. No longer functions like the whatchamacallit, like a projectile that does not have a box whatsoever. Now you have to actually leverage it as a standard projectile. And it also moves Happy Chaos backwards, so there's that double benefit of getting you out of trouble and producing a hurt box that cannot be overcome on the ground very easily. Close slash into standard thick throw mix-up. Finds a counter hit, frame trap with the 6 heavy, steals the corner into nothing. Interesting mix-up here. Potentially waiting for some sort of reaction from Slityn. Going for the multi-dimensional shot in to run in, however, not able to keep the pressure or keep the prey steady. Oh, there's one option though. If your dash is fast enough and or low profile enough, you could potentially slide under the curse projectile, which is exactly what SlavWolf does here. With the shots, the YRC is too far. However, Slityn was already locked into the concentration animation, so both players just going back to neutral there on that exchange. Shot into more shots. I'm actually not super knowledgeable with of this new version of Happy Chaos. Use up the super. And like as a check, are you trying to do something? Are you throwing a full screen hair car or perhaps like a super of your own? Or just in general, like hitting buttons from, far enough range. Wolf strikes for the second time. 2-1. There we go, able to get the latch on with the projectile. And Wolf swinging wildly with the jump slash. Such a great button. With a horizontal reach. Definitely has like the air button functionalities or like roles of Milia's air buttons clearly split. Jump heavy being the sort of everywhere hitting button, can hit from the front, can hit from the back. Excellent for jump ins, and then the jump slash. Extremely good at swatting people out of the air as an air to air. And just overall really good horizontal reach if you want to jump in from a little bit further than what jump heavy gives you. Ooh, rolling into, missing with a throw. Ooh, the scramble from close range. I think this is an air dash animation. No, never mind, that was a double jump, so able to just comfortably block out of that. 6 heavy into last shaker. Engaging from the situation and then back in there, bobbing and weaving. Trying to, ooh, nice throw there. Able to catch the prospect of the Dark Souls mix-up from Slityn. Once again, 5B. Tap Slityn out of the dash in. Ooh, the hair card gets in there before the gun can lock onto the target. YRC, this should guarantee Slityn some amount of pressure. But Wolf turns it back with a YRC of their own. Now started with the close slash, tries to go for the thick throw again. Has been doing that quite a bit, so I wonder if Slityn is picking up on those, on those player habits. One of the most important things to consider like pay attention to when you're playing against somebody, especially a long set. I guess in the shorter tournament sets as well, where you have way less time to adapt. You know, in a longer set like this, you have more opportunities to potentially start reading those player habits or start recognizing those player habits. Ooh, the very delayed cancel into Last Shaker, Cat Slit. And then from the protective cover of yeah, that move, what is it called again? Scapegoat? I just said it a second ago. Man, aphasia comes very early these days. Into a mix-up. Nice tech from the wolf. And dash in there bravely for a far slash. 6P into the wrong direction. Getting completely mixed up, but not ready to give up just yet. Coming down with the artist formerly known as Jump to... Is it Jump to K or Jump to Heavy? Now just a Jump Heavy. Because of course you can no longer pull the gun out in your aerial state, so that button could be now allocated to the slot where the pull out the gun action was previously, or in the previous version. Ooh, got the shot off before the turbo fall could activate there. Mixing up with the basics, frame trap into the 6 heavy, and then some of that more. Artemis preventing Slit from running forward. However, back throw incident, the juiciest of those, when the opponent has no life left to spare. Going at the gunslinger stance, shooting a couple of shots. Was that a Freudian slip there? Not entirely uncharacteristic from QK, where shots turn into shits and shots turn into slots and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, it's not minus enough to get a punish, unfortunately, from that position. But now, Wolf working with the corner, frame trapping into 6 heavy again. And that allows for a disc setup. Slit is not ready to... Ooh, it's another really early throw from the roll. Of course, one of the more common ways to defend against, like, especially like sloppier Happy Chaos strings is like just throw. When you see a roll, if they don't set it up properly, and I believe it's like 1 frame manual timing that you have to pull off in order to like make your rolls not just easy to throw. Okay, properly your layer 1 should often be to default to that throw, and it's the ball is on Happy Chaos's court to make some. Ooh, look at that! Just Mexican standoff. In the end, Wolf decides to strike from half screen away with the hair car in position with the gun. It is locked in. And I think better to get a shot on an airborne opponent, because that produces so many plus frames for you. This is exactly what, you know, how Slit set this up with. We gotta be careful if, I guess if Milia has meter, or if Milia is at a distance where you can't react to her dash anymore. Standing there with the gun in your hand can be dangerous. You cannot block during the gun stance after all. Okay, non-meaty disc into a low altitude air throw. Glimpses of all their Guilty Gear. But why not new one as well? I mean, that the air throw is not the longest startup after all in this game either. Sorry, getting hiccups here. We need some mid-combat water drinkage. Right, able to lock in, use YRC before the mix-up opportunity becomes available. And now Slit completely out of bullets. Might have been old muscle memory, pulls out the Deus Ex Machina, or maybe was trying to go for a chip kill. Nice jump out, but comes down with a jump heavy. Unfortunately, no horizontal reach on that. Tries to go for an air throw maybe, and gets frame trapped into the 6 heavy again. The move that takes you airborne. It's kind of like a Fisher Price, my first throw crush, low crush, frame trap. No, does it all. But does put you in a really like slightly awkward position where you are airborne and therefore you have like very sort of predictable cancel options if you want to cancel into something from the 6 heavy. Opening the ADHD Mets, so the concentration won't be a problem for a couple of seconds, but now has to, ooh, I was about to say has to block, but wakes up with a 6P and it ends up working out. Wolf though, stealing the corner, but stealing the corner in his own disadvantage, unfortunately. Because every time when you go for the corner, still kind of a maneuver, you better be sure that if you hit it home, that you get the conversion and break out of the corner successfully. Tries to poke the 2K, nobody home, Slit throwing the curse ball, jumps out of the heavy disc bluff as well. Locked and loaded. We got the target, shoots it. Smartly though, Wolf not hitting a button. That would have been potentially a counter hit if you got a little bit too greedy. Close slash trying to convert it into a thick throw. Ooh, there we go. Even though hitting the scapegoat, still getting the hits in. Slit with their burst advantage here. Shoots Wolf out of the sky. It's a flying Wolf. It's a huge frame advantage for Slit. And taking advantage of that, goes into close slash, and rest is history. 2 games up now, starting with the curse ball once again. Pretty nice round start maneuver because it does move you backwards, so your opponent would have to commit into something big. I mean, we've actually seen Wolf commit into it, the deep dash to go under the curse ball. Maybe that was the idea in one of those early rounds, like deep dash in throw attempts. You can use that to sort of option select a couple of different things at the same time. Such as if they, ooh, okay, this time trades with 6 heavy. Shoot the Wolf out of the sky, and now misses with the jump slash. Both players trying to wrestle for the advantageous position to not be left in the corner. If this is an air dash, you do get caught. Yeah, it is a startup of air dash during which you cannot block in Guilty Gear Strive. Still, Wolf not discouraged by a couple unlucky shots. Comes down with a jump D. It's into a really nifty knockdown. Chooses to take it with a close slash. It's like it's no shame unless you are, you know, like super advanced level. It's completely okay to, you know, not run some of these harder to perform Okies for Milia and just go with the basics. Getting a close slash is okay still. But powering through the gunshot with a 6 heavy. I think the reticle hadn't quite locked in yet. One shot in the tank, pops the bill, so at least concentration ain't gonna be a problem here. Able to convert into a really nice juggle, even without taking out the gun that time around. There's the comitative dash. Goes straight for the kill. Finds a frame trap. Ooh, another one. Opponent being a little naughty here, pressing on wake up, which Wolf takes advantage of. Double jump out of the corner, and now Slit is the one pressing the situation. Jump PPP around the opponent. But the high jump into a turbo fall out of there. Gets mixed up on the rolls though. YRC, another tool that Wolf definitely likes to use as much as possible, especially during the latter end of these rounds. Wakes up with a 6P, okay. I'm not quite sure what the frame is that Milia goes airborne and becomes unthrowable. This should hit right. Yeah, not quite getting in there. I kind of like the idea from both sides, but the Deus Ex Machina activating a little bit too fast for the hair car. I mean, Wolf wasn't too far with the like sliding Wolf Fang coming in. A couple more frames and that would have actually traveled and potentially poked Slityn out of that Deus Ex Machina. Right, running out of concentration before the bullets and takes the burst casually on the way out there. Really nice looking situation for Wolf. And now, as we know, Happy Chaos not the strongest character on defense unless you can kind of get a jump off or have, you know, real estate to sort of reach to. Works much better at mid-screen. There we go with a deep dash again. Instead of throw this time, going in with a far slash. Containing in the corner. Successful corner steal. And then successful follow-up as well. Very nice, very nice. Because Wolf has been dropping some of those sequences earlier this set. Now this bodes extremely well for Wolf. Probably much more comfortable trying to steal. Oh, here we go with the through reversal. Did we hit the button? Yes, indeed. Looked kind of like a throw that we were trying to go for there. Everything working out finally for Wolf, and you can see when it does, when everything aligns just perfectly. Milia's just the cutest little character to dismantle you with. Fortunately, this time can't outsmart the bullet, even though, despite what heavy weapons guy said once upon a time. From the left to the right, finding a hit, looking for potentially one more if we can get a fat starter. Just a little bit of a kiss there with the 6 speed. Far slash into last shaker. But all of these stray hits slowly chipping down Slit. Escapes from the 6 heavy and the close slash goes into the wrong direction. Tragedy strikes Wolf as they are forced into the corner. Able to break out though. Guess for your life kind of a situation. Goes in with the... I was meaning to take the meaty shot with a close slash. Turned into a far slash. But making quick adjustments there and frame trapping into the last shaker instead. It is probably one of the most important abilities to have in a fast game like a Guilty Gear. Just recognizing what is happening in the moment. If you make a mistake, make the best out of it. Have a plan B. Have we hit a button here, or are we just respecting? Yep. Holding the FD so that the chip damage is minimal. Now that I think about it, I think a lot of these Deus Ex Machina situations for Slit are looking like chip out attempts. Once again, with the 100 meter, there's no doubt that Slit wouldn't have gone for the second Deus Ex Machina, right? Because like he's been playing that back to back before as well. And when he does, it's almost exclusively when Wolf is at their last legs on very low life situation. Speaking of low life situations here, gets the Dark Souls mix-up in with the roll to the other side. And pushing forward with a lot of advantage. 6-3. Once again, not a donezo deal yet. And I mean, Wolf has had a lot of good success here in these RPS situations. Look at this. I think it's the finishing touch. The finishing touch is something that is like one of the hardest things to master when you're trying to move from like intermediate level into like big girls and big boys pools. It's like generally everything can be going in for you perfectly, but like one small mistake during a combo, during a pressure sequence, and it all can come crashing down in a volatile game like Guilty Gear Strive. Speaking of volatility, Slit on a set point position, potentially looking for one more hit to end it. Tries to jump B to a no avail. Capel gets Wolf out of there. This anti-air works out though. The deflect shield, I love the idea. I think the idea was to use deflect shields to eliminate your landing recovery, which I mean it did, but Slit was already there. with a throw queued up. And there is no escaping there. Slit procures the set 7-3 against our other Melia player of the week. Alright, that would be all the Melia players done for now. I can't even remember what's next. What's next? Ooh, okay, what's next? We basically have the latter half of Bounty Hunters tonight is gonna be nothing but absolutely lit, burning, hot, straight out of the oven, baked cookies kind of shit. We're dropping it like it's hot. 3 back-to-back high-level matches, starting with Trish versus Butty, followed up by Whale versus HC, and then Oxa versus Metadona. Out of which first, let's call Trish and Butty here. Two very high power level characters as well. Might as well, you know, if you ask me, or probably against my better knowledge, might as well be the two best characters maybe in the current patch at the moment. Of course, Ram is, you know, the undethroned queen of Guilty Gear Strive, has always been. There's probably has not been a single patch when Ram was extremely dominant, and I think this might be one of the best of the best patches for her. And then of course Nago. Oh, Nago, with the new special move, with so many options, the Yukimo opening up so many new different avenues to play the video game. Yeah, these are some of the characters to beat in modern Guilty Gear Strive. Let's see how it goes.
Duel 1.
Butty, Trish, ready to strike, and strike Butty does, right from the get-go. Not even a Fukio backwards, just full sending the Beyblade. Forward Fukio, into a throw. Ooh, nice spacing trap there and the whiff punish. You can set a lot of these up between these two characters because you have so many, you know, see, oh, it's gonna be a pump though, and that's not a combo into. However, Trish misses the clean punish opportunity. Went for the far slash punish, and from there, what even happened there? Tried to combo into like a Daura, but it doesn't quite connect cleanly. Ooh, look at that, the max range DP there with the second hit. So close to popping. Butty actually, oh, it's still a pop! On the last, it's so strange because the math, and this time Trish is gonna be in the close slash distance. No more funny stuff, no more funky stuff, no more monkey business this time around. We are at the perfect striking distance for the perfect, you know, button of this game, the close slash. Ooh, tried to be really sneaky here, doing a stutter stat, maybe igniting, or rather inviting a throw. Speaking of the throw, here it is. Oh my god, just back and forth. Would you guys just stop it? Oh, and a back throw again! That was basically back throw the round. I mean, you better have your you know, shimmies perfectly spaced and on point when you are playing against this character Nagoriyuki. Ooh, just sending a flip kick. That's dangerous. On a grounded flip kick, if you do block that, and especially if Ram ends up point blank range, that is a punish, as we say in the industry. Goes for a shimmy this time. No response from Butty. Yeah, has to spend meter for that. If you flip kick in their face. Oh my god, Butty's defense is iron. steel and all the solid materials you can find in the world. What's a great timing on the super jump. As Trish was revving up the stone to play grounded footsies. Small hit there, 6B under there, and should be a kill. Didn't even go for a 6 heavy. Opted to swipe the credit card. Wait, is Yukimo actually more damage than 6 heavy? I don't think so, right? Or is it? Maybe there was just like a contingency play for Butty. Like in case it doesn't kill, at least we go into the next screen with Klarna swiped already. Ooh, get the jump startup! 6 heavy starter, baits the burst. Trish not ready to fight, but we gotta go for it sooner or later. That life is mighty running out very fast. Tries to stutter step out, however, the burst, or the late explosion of the gun sword, and then the bait, the patience. Trish showing that even if she had a couple of mishaps earlier game and earlier round, we are absolutely rock solid here. Trying to go for the whip punch with the 5 heavy, a little too far. Spacing is playing a key role in this matchup where both characters can swing their heavy buttons for basically half screen or even further away. Now into the mixer, the empty low 2K, another one, and then hard knockdown. Most importantly, getting the primary resources of Ramlethal back on the wall break, which is the swords. And there you go. Rest is basically scripted, basically set play. Once you have the opponent down, no options for movement, and your trusty swords back on your back, or packed on your back, ready to be unleashed. Such as what is happening here. Goes under the 6B. Tries again, this time Butty not reaching for the 6B, and as do why you would against Ramlethal, she can no longer crush low profile moves with her 5 heavies. So like both far slash and 5 heavy, as long range as they are, can be basically beaten with a hard reach 6B if you're willing to risk it for the biscuit. Which is one of the reasons why Trish has been, sending these low, such as the round start 2S here, or the dash deep into 2K that we have been representing in the previous rounds. Tries to go for a whip punish here. At least you can make Nagoriki block a little bit. But who's gonna block here? Go slash into 6K, into more pressure. We got these pressure cancels for days. Wins the RPS on the Beyblade. Beyblade itself is -3 on just a normal block, which kind of prompts you into doing something lest you get yourself thrown. Perfect distance this time around, comboing into the Daura as well. One of the most puzzling features of this character, perhaps, that a lot of people have been questioning. Look at this spacing on the Beyblade. Whip punishes, I think there was a far slash there maybe. But Trish working with the nice combo, getting those W's out. Losing 1, taking 2. That math checks out for Trish. But let's see how it's gonna develop. So far, the development seems that Butty wanting to push the initiative, putting Trish in the corner. That's gonna be a punish. But due to the limited mobility of Nagoriyuki's, I don't think there's a close slash punish in those situations. Okay, once again, opting to go for Yukimo. That's gotta be more damage than 6 heavy then. Or is it just for style points? Plus frames after the clone as we menacingly walk forward towards the throw range. The primary mix-up position in Guilty Gear Strive. Some characters are luckier than the others, able to save himself here with the late PRC. That kind's up actually missing here. Jump over the rock, and here both players are trying to find an angle to get the party started. Trish is the first one to achieve it. Burst to nullify the advantage for now. Tries to 6P, the rock takes care of that. And then I thought there was plus frames there after the explosion, but tries to push the situation, and Butty gets an opportunity to strike back, and strike back he does. 2-2. A classic starter to an absolute banger of a set that I forecast to be ahead of us here. I know my weather. Today, after 6 p.m., we have a couple of lit clouds over the yonder, and then rain of awesome coming down as soon as the second hit of the DP connects on Trish and scores a nice nifty little combo for Butty. And now with the pressure, gotta be careful with the blood. Swipes it. Misses a 2S. So the range of the 2S does not change notably with the blood levels, but the startup does. So it's a little bit of a miscalculation there, or maybe a bait. Maybe missing a 2S. It is a very, like, one of the faster buttons, one of the faster long-range buttons in the game to miss as well. So you don't take that big of a risk by swinging it, unless your opponent is absolutely cracked. And no reason to believe that Trish wouldn't be. Burst out of here. Is that gonna whiff? Yes, indeed. Was probably forecasting a whiff punish, but we take it. Butty really close to popping here, but the blood pressure starting to go down. The 6 heavy has a little bit of forward moving momentum into the back throw of Butty's, and now you're gonna have to take the consequences, which is the verdict is death. Slices and blood all around the corner. Butty procures a leading position here with a brutal steal, but very much on brand for Nagoriyuki players. Why should I not? After all, why should I not? When it's my pressure, my precious pressure reversal. Ooh, a little bit low on blood there, so the fire heavy ends up whipping. Absolute high blood going into the Klarna. Ooh, that's a really nice trade and can convert into a kill, methinks. That was really great, situational awareness from Butty to recognize that from that kill, or rather from that trade, you can actually go for the kill there by spending the 50 meter. With the stutter step again, Trish flinches straight into the 6P. But now, Beyblade meets the 5 heavy. Battle of extremely great 5 heavies here. Is Butty gonna pop? Oh no! OTG! That's gonna be a close slash starter. And the stars, yeah, there's so many different ways that you could end that. Chip damage is definitely one of them. Starting with the 2S. One of the besting slot 2S's in the game. Nice shimmy there with the backwards Fukio. Finding a big hit, and again! And finds it. That must have been the tip range of the 2S there. All right, we can bring projectiles into the mix as well. Especially when Nagoriyuki's back is against the corner. Swipes the credit card. So we are okay. That was a nice timing of the for the super jump. However, the loan must be paid back. Must be paid back in full or even more.
Duel 1.
That is basically the threat of Yukimo. When you if you use it in a situation where you are already popping, you cannot escape the debts that you have to play, the blood debts, if you will. You have to end the round, or at least drain sufficient amount of blood back from the opponent. And the nasty thing is, I think all of the debt gets applied at the same time when Yukimo ends. So if your balance is not positive, you're going to pop basically instantly after the mode ends. Let's see if Trish hit the button. Answer is no, Jose. Ooh, wait, how did she get a far slash there? That was a bizarre situation. That was supposed to be like a close slash starter into a guaranteed kill, but oh no, not a kill, but instead a back throw into perfect routing for Butty. Oh me gosh. That was a lot of unfortunate things happening for Trish there. Ooh, but that's a pretty sexy spacing on those jumps. I'm a big fan of like jumping backwards against Nagoriyuki as well, when Nagoriyuki has a lot of blood to spend. Because a lot of like the advancing options can be sort of dodged with the perfect angle of a jump. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of damage. With just 2 hits, 2 heavy into 5 heavy. And now, ooh, that's blood level 1, so that's a tiny little 5 heavy. At the moment, Trish working with the bigger one. But I mean, when you pump more blood into it, it gets larger. Inevitable facts of life. Yo, what was that? The stutter step forward, kind of almost looking like getting your crouch button stuck there. Closing in. I guess that was like a buffer there on the bite. And again, look at this. The aura walk forward, waiting for a response there. Doing it again. This time Trish does take the throw. And a gold burst. Micro teabag. That's a new term that I'm gonna steal. Micro teabag. Yoinked and boinked into my dictionary. Alright, working with the corner. Time to deal with the standard ram stuff. I think the 5D came so late that the sword explosion did not actually procure Trish the frame advantage there. Sword's coming back though, and there is a gap that might have actually been after an IB. I think if you get an IB on Ramlethal's Rekkas, it basically exposes her to throws if you try to go from Rekka to Rekka. Players swinging a miss. Ooh, that was a perfect spacing there from Butty. I think even so perfect that he didn't believe in the whip punish himself that time. Careful with the blood. Ooh, that could be close to popping. Here's the super. And as the Klarna expires, that is a pop. That is a pop. I think Trish was basically expecting it as well, judging by her body language there and as she like moved forward in that situation. Probably already knew what it was gonna be. Like that's why you do math. That's why you, as the non-Nagoriyuki player, also do blood math to know what's going on. Now escape from the corner and straight into. Oh, that's a nice whip punish there. The spacing trap. This is so high level. Like when you're watching this, the amount of shimmies, the spacing traps, the everything that these two players are throwing at each other. Escape from the corner, not for free though. Tag them with the 6P on the landing and then activating Yukimo, and you already know what's gonna happen afterwards. Lots of violence coming from the side of Nagoriyuki. An early burst for a Butty this time around. Escapes the corner and into some stagger pressure before we unleash the real mixer. I mean, because like, of course you'd be thinking that the Ram player will throw the sword immediately, and if you're scared of that, then going for a little bit of like K button stagger pressure. Oh, unfortunate though, drops the Rekka conversion, and now again. Universal super is good. Sword explosion, waiting for it patiently, but if you wait too patiently, that might put you in a the checkmate position. That's the one. Not quite set point yet. This is still the mid game of this set. Although, if Butty manages to steal this one, we could be heading to an early finish. Still has to bring another round home if he wants to rock with that advantage. Players walking backwards, swinging some of their biggest reaching normals afterwards. And with the juggle, spending blood, burning through the wall. Some spent, some regained, as the positive bonus brings a lot of stuff home. No OTG. And now going into the samurai mix, it is as we foresaw. Butty moving on to the 6 points here.
Duel 1.
We're at fourth matchup of the evening. Now Trish, the pressure on Trish to make something large happen here. We basically got a lot of data downloaded from side to side, from both sides. And now the question is, are you what do they call it? Are you like, what are the people who deal with data as their like primary line of work? You kind of have to like be one of those people. Data analysts? Who's the better data analyst at this point? Right in the corner, looking hungrily at that sword that ends up coming back in the end. Ooh, Butty was expecting there was some sort of reaction play. That's the beauty of this thing. It's like the players are so high level that they are sort of trusting, expecting the opponent to like react to what you're doing and not just, you know, closing their eyes and not do anything. Have to jump out of the throw, but no punish on the way down. Oh, 6P still works out. One of the horizontally most far-reaching 6Ps. Ramlethal working with a really good one. Trish frame traps into the rock. Here's the 6P though. The 6P, an integral part of your RPS in the corner as far as I've understood for Nagoriyuki. It is a good 6P after all, but maybe more so because Nagoriyuki has slightly more limited options because, oh, got it! Into the Daura juggle. Now looking for one more hit. Trade is okay for Trish. Trade one more time and you're gonna go down. Into your coffin. Oh, but that's a good hit. That's good enough hit to convert into a 6 heavy kill there. Again, Trish with basically no, or both players with no life left to spend. Set point Butty. Is it gonna end like this? The very delayed DP cancel frame trap gets the hit, gets the wall. Now Trish on her last legs. Can we make it happen here? Frame trap into 2S, but a little late on the cancel here to make the combo happen. In the corner though, might have to spend resources if you want to keep it. And we can't. We absolutely, unfortunately, and inevitably cannot, especially if we're holding on to that burst. The burst was either do it immediately or don't do it at all. Butty says, I think you don't have the guts to fire it immediately. Completes the sequence and steals it. 7-1. Sorry, 7-3. For Team Poland. And fear not, if you are Team Poland, we've got some good stuff for you even in the next set, as it's gonna be Well versus HC, I believe. Is that how you say the name? HC? Hopefully it's okay omitting the combination of numbers at the end though. Another interesting character matchup as well, as we have that character Zato, much better than perhaps in some of the previous patches. In fact, this is as the experts say, one of the better patches in the memorable history of this his fighting game. Not quite as good as Zato was in the early patches of Guilty Gear Strive, but way better than he's been for the past couple of seasons, for sure. And of course, there are some unique problems to be solved for Zato in this matchup. The amount of junk that Faust can put on the screen through the item toss can boast like unique dangers for if you wanna try to take out your puppet. We've seen it before, in fact. There's been quite a few Faust versus Zato matchups on Bounty Hunters along the years. What's the current like score? While we are waiting for the players to land, let me actually pull out my status sheet and see if we could pull out some recent Zato versus Faust scores. So we recently had Wavy taking it for Team Zato. And then, I believe we've had more than that. We've had actually like a year ago, do really good in this matchup against another Faust player. So that already bodes well for her going into this matchup. Are those the only Zato versus Faust matchups that we have had on Bounty Hunters? I guess so. At least like for the past couple of years. Or a year or so. So yeah, we definitely know that Whale is capable of playing this matchup, has taken out previous Faust players here on Bounty Hunters, and now it is gonna be another one. Nice! Uses the puppet to take the hit there from the fishing rod. And an aggressive burst. Burst back from HC as well. And now all the junk, the bombs. Oh my, wait! Did the little guy take the explosion there? The reversal super works out. Was that, wait, where did that what happened to the bomb explosion? Instant replay, please. Was that taken by opposer or something? That's fascinating. Ooh, goes for the cross up there. Empowered by the Afro installed on the opponent, but well, flips it around just like that from a single touch. Use a little bit of meter, and the world is yours. Ooh, got them backdashing on the 2P though. Got them with the fishing ball right off the round start. And now, ooh, and the net play unblockable as well. The classic 6 heavy has been a thorn in everybody's side for the past couple of decades. Just about any Guilty Gear games, and you know, even in the modern patch, things haven't changed. Ooh, the escape Tatsu, look at that! Look at that Ryu going airborne and going Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku! The little guy's coming as well, so well forced to block, throwing a little bit of more of that gunpowder into the round, or into the stage. Well, maneuvering surprisingly well past all of that though. Executor not gonna kill, but now you're left in a fucked up situation after the heart knockdown, and Puppet Gauge ready to go for Zato. Jump 2K, works up air to air, dashing into 2K. Yep, tough. Frame trap situation, or thick throw situation rather. picks up the horn during the animation, forcing Will into an OTG barrage, and then cashing out with the super. I think even though Zato is a zero guts character, this should not still kill, right? Yeah, because the bone cracking excitement is one of the weaker hitting supers in the game. Was expecting the 5D to kill there and the chip kill on the cross up. Wow, HC moving around like no Faust I've ever seen before.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
You know, slight miscalculation there on the 5D. Of course, the idea was to kill well on the 5D tap there after the wall break. But hey, sometimes we can't have the perfect pixel goggles. Double trouble. The meteor still coming through with the cross up. The day one stop that we've always been rocking with. Nice post there. Completely deflects the fishing pole, and it's Will's time to turn it up. We have the opportunity to potentially refresh the minion gauge, but chooses to save the tension resource this time around. There we go. That's basically half of your little eddy gauge that you have to pay for that maneuver that Will has been playing here. Summon into a pose, deflect the fishing pole, the rerere, or the... What do they call it in this game? The thrust, the... I forgot what it's called. It's rerere for me, now and forever. It sets up the little guy, coming back to hold down the fort, into more pressure, more tick throws, more frame traps. The trolling back, yeah, utilizing that to set up a... Ooh, wait a minute, Will find a way, a gap out of there. But the Shadow Gallery, sorry, not Shadow Gallery, the Drunkard Shade actually catching HC out of the teleport, if I saw correctly. Oh, a tough spot. YRC to get some frame advantage. But it's so easy to hit you while you have the Afro on. It basically makes your standing or even crouching hurtbox grow exponentially. So you're way easier to tag for Faust for buttons like jump heavy if you're working on the horizontal axis, or jump D if you're coming in from above. Utilizing the little horde to set up a nifty little cross-up. However, the deflect shield does not care where the strike comes from. This time, though, you don't have the resources to avoid it, and a big, wide jump heavy into a loop that is very reminiscent of some of the combos of yesteryears. Ramming through. Is it a kill? Not quite yet. A potential guess for your life, kind of a mix-up. Goes for the deflect shield again. I think in that situation, you have an opportunity to potentially go for a cross-up mix. Which would make sense that, you know, Will was reaching for the deflect shield. I mean, that's not the only reason, but that might have been one of the, you know, one of the reasons why playing the deflect shield there was the play of the knockdown. But now, a really good position for Will. Actually scores a hard counter hit with the bar slash. And refunding all the resources, as well as getting the hard knockdown. Yeah, you can't backdash out of that, no matter who your name is. I don't think even a Jealous Rage Ava can backdash that. If, you know, if you just summon round start hard knockdown into a Pierce. We got the leggies, but on the second go, well, still not able to fly past though. 6 heavy, caught them backdashing, and spitting up the little guy. You don't often see Faust players spitting up the item that they've been, they've inhaled, but depending on the situation, like the situation was perfect for spitting out the little guy in the corner position, because like if you activate it, it's basically an insurance for you to get your pressure off, or even a combo. Speaking of combos, Michael Bay kind of shit here, sticking to the wall, jump to K, high hit, it's okay, we're converting that, and this could be a kill OTG. No, we have the meter to spend. HC absolutely on fire. And you know what else is on fire? That afro in the background. Explosions everywhere, as the Faust players love to play it. Always one of the more entertaining characters in this game, let me tell you that much. That's another insurance. Got the backdash with the 2K. Such a great media option for Faust. Probably a necessary option available as well, as because Faust's close slash, not necessarily like, not really one of those strong ones that give you plus frames. So has to work with some, has to bring some extra layers to that close range pressure compared to some of the standard Guilty Gear Strive characters. Through the wall we go. Puppet is ready to be unleashed. Pierce, hold this. And hold it, HC is. Repeat it. We do have some choose to fight back here. Full burst. Potential, ooh, I was about to say YRC, but fuck that. We're just going into the reversal super and it ends up working out. Not quite the kill. The throw. The trade in HC's favor. Had the life advantage here, so could go for those bold little plays. Or maybe even big plays, depending on your point of view. Drilling it up, however, the opposed taking care of a lot of business there, but not the little guy that was set walking, or set patrolling on the screen. Another one. Oh, that's a lot of good junk that you throwing there, Mr. HC. Have to respect, I believe. No, never mind. Faust box there. Was progressed far enough on the jump that they technically, I mean, again, I think this time. No, never mind, we're still going up. I guess Amorphous has kind of a dead zone there if your opponent is already jumping out. I haven't actually clocked that before. It's not often that you are jumping out of the super after all, I guess. Or are you? Hammer again, one of those insured normals. Switch sides. Ooh, well takes the opportunity. However, the immediate. Wait, is it Well? Yes, it is. I was like, wait, what happened here? The leapfroggy still catching the teleport, being active in the right place at the right time. And now going in with a deep dash 6 heavy. Net play unblockable, let me tell you that much. I mean, it is a relatively far range connection this time. Well, stands up, blocks it though. Tried to, wait, what was that? What was that misinput into a 5D? I thought I saw some frame like that. Alright, what's coming out? Little guy is out. And bomb is out. Able to avoid it. Ooh, flips on its own banana peel. What a freaking Looney Tunes round. Everything in the kitchen sink happening at the same time. Amorphous taking the hit, knockdown. Well, gets the pressure here with the little guy after a successful knockdown. Both players playing their heart and soul, pouring everything into this set. Well, finally on the board against a very dangerous Faust player. Wow, wait, that was... I don't even know. I would be sighing of, like, relief there. And sweating huge bullets at the same time. Ooh, not quite converting into a Michael Bay there, but close. Inhaling a hammer, that's surely gonna come handy, potentially in the next stage transition here. One of the favorite items to throw for a Faust. And now available on command, immediately spitting it out in order to basically say, well, you don't get to do anything on the ground as long as this hammer is active. Really great for sort of controlling where the opponent could potentially be for the next couple of seconds. Great evasion there, and at the tail end also tags Well's minion. Even trade. Oh, the fishing pole! Catching Well once again on at the best of moments here. And now one more hit. Oh, never mind, it's actually gonna be a kill. Unless 6 heavy, a little late there. But perfect timing on the 2 heavy, look at that. That was, I think, punish on the landing frames for HC. And we are unfortunately gonna have a DC here. It's, I think it's like a higher chance of happening depending on how far the, sort of the connection is. And of course, this is a relatively high distance connection here between Egypt and Poland. Very cool that we do get to play these like super long distance connections after the advent of our Lord and Savior rollback netcode. I remember a time when during like delay-based netcode era, like even playing from Northern Europe to like Central Europe was almost like a impossible endeavor already. Like even though the distance is not that far, but like rollback has given us like so much. And I think like a lot of newer age fighting game players, for example, if you started fighting games with Guilty Gear Strive, for instance, like you might not even know what the hell the old hag is talking about here. It's like delay-based netcode. What's that? Can you eat that? I believe we are playing this out. But it is okay. Afterwards, we are gonna go back in and hope for no more disconnections for this particular set. Well, of course, doing great work. Trying to sort of meet the onslaught of all of the nasty things that HC is putting out there from Faust end. Even rounds here. This could be a very important game here. If Whale doesn't get this, the advantage for HC starts being extremely how to put this? Relevant enough that it commands your attention, as well as potentially triggers certain reflexes in the human body, such as anxiety, profuse sweating, panic, and all of that good old stuff that you probably have come across in the past if you are playing of fighting games on the competitive level. Yeah, we've all been there at one point or another, and it looks like HC is gonna procure that round. Wowee. At least I think the players played it out. I'm gonna assume that is how it is, unless I'm being told otherwise. Also, players swipe side, so Whale is over here now. Right, HC with a considerable lead. But let's see what Whale still has in her back pocket. In addition to the little Eddie. Oh no, the meaty timing is not quite right. So you're going back into the corner. With the items having HC's back. Be one of the good ones, the hammer, hold down the fort as you are mixing it up. Well, bravely marching forward though, forcing the wall break. Sun Void to get the little guy back as well. And now, ooh, that was kind of nice. The like faking going in after the pierce, but in fact going for like an unsummon kind of a shenanigan and getting a command grab instead. Can we procure the round? He has cost. Wait, what was the hidden trade with the fishing pole and a nice jumpy as well? well, doing everything she can, but unable to get the last hit in, unfortunately. And HC continuing this reign of terror. Sniping the little guy from the back with the jump 2K as well. It's back for now. We're advancing. If you're advancing with the puppet like that, it does, like every single puppet move does cost a little bit of your gauge. And the longer, or like the more special moves on the puppet you have to use to get in on the opponent, the fewer opportunities you have to sort of mix them up with. Oh, just queues up the 6 heavy. Are you kidding me? HC, no fear, no shame, and no remorse. It is well. Oh, can we get this out in time? We can, but no respect whatsoever. Wait, I thought Amorphous is plus, right? Unless there was some weird shenanigans happening there with the items and all that. Either way, HC getting out of there with the 5-framer wins the game of hot potato as well. Switch sides so that we don't have. That's kind of cool. That's one way to deal with the hot potato. Not striking into it, but teleporting so that the opponent is between you and. Ooh, okay, nice. Can we break the wall? Come on. Counter blitz. Can we get some wall breaks over here? What does that mechanic even do? Absolutely nothing, I tell you. Right, but Whale has at least a little bit of wind under her sails now. Counter blitz. Ain't gonna break the wall. Yeah, no. At least it takes you to the corner and gets you a hard knockdown. And maybe that's like kind of an okay tool for Zato, because converting some of those like far range S buttons. Ooh, as I say that, HC is out of all of those resources. All we need is one touch. One touch for a Whale. Oh no, meter's coming, hitting OTG. There we go. Okay. The situation not quite set up perfectly for HC. And Whale, perhaps.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Perhaps planning a counter sweep here of sorts. The jump deactivate. Ooh, Michael Bay! Getting the throw straight into the bomb. That was kind of cool. Not even the Faust player doing it. Is it easier to do on Faust? Getting attacked by the hammer on the way out as well. Tries to escape the corner. Being back into the jail. Well, has a lot of resources. But what can you do with those? PRC was probably not into itinerary, the plans.
Duel 2.
I reckon maybe wanted a YRC with that instead. Why is that word so difficult? Itinerary. Itinerary. I swear I can pronounce that word. Itinerary. Should pull HC back onto the. Did that? Wait. Did the Amorphous actually connect or not? These air-to-air situations, or like where Zato is in the air and has to block something, look really funky sometimes. Or the trumpet. Can we get the trumpet? Not quite so. And HC, empowered by the Horde, dashing in with the air dash. The last 6 heavy does not quite connect, but pulls well back down with the jump heavy. Oh no, the item advantage! The item advantage! Why is it always the hammer? The hammer! And the nails and the everything! Unblockable! Has the Afro one as well. Oh no! Set point has the burst, gets the panic burst out at the last moment. Please, little guy, do something! He does something! But doesn't manage to. Oh, that's so unfortunate. It was supposed to be an I guess like a meaty situation, but let's say a lot of stuff happened there. A lot of stuff happened, and I couldn't keep up with it. I bet Well couldn't keep up with it either. And HC. Oh my goodness, what kind of Zato, sorry, what kind of Faust play we could... we had the opportunity to take in there. Definitely a new kind of flavor, a new spin that HC was putting on the Faust. Something that I can't quite put my finger around, something that I haven't been able to watch before. But I mean, that's kind of Faust. Faust players just bring their unique touch into it every single time. But moving forward, the last matchup of the evening, the big, heavy-hitting championship match of the evening between Oxa Testament and Metadona Dizzy. The lore matchup, the Keeper of the Grove, and then the maiden that resides. Let's see who's gonna do better this time. The name of the game is definitely projectiles in this one, where both of the characters would love to set up some sort of advantage first using their fireballs. Testament, of course, you know, the more fireballs you can connect on the opponent, the better curse you're gonna have, and then your strikes are gonna be super empowered, so it makes more sense to go in after you got that stain state applied. And then Dizzy, more of a more traditional zoner sort of approach, where you kind of want to take couple of extra summons to not only limit your opponent's movement, but to lock them down, and then maybe start your pressure with wings, with stuff of that sort. And I think a lot of Dizzy players nowadays love to sort of make the threat about the wings. So basically, like, she's kind of good looping pressure. Like, if you don't wanna mix the opponent up, or if you don't wanna risk like thick throws and like stuff like that. And in her like core, she like doesn't have a lot of mix-up options available either. 6 heavy as well is a guard crush, but ultimately just prints plus frames. But you can definitely put the fear in the opponent if you have the wings on at the moment. That basically says, like, if I have tension and you're blocking too much, you will basically lose all of your life, even if you're blocking. Looking for one more hit. Oh, nice dagger pressure. 5k, no cancel into a 2k. This is like surprisingly good working with her like K buttons. Punish. The perfect distance for a 2S. Oxa taking the wall break. Both players holding onto their burst. This is the big stain. Oh, wants to play it still. Okay. A little bit of a... I believe in myself kind of a burst. And it looks so far so good. The wings are about to trigger. At the last of the moment, Oxa gets them off. And evens the round count. 1-1. Advantage on the resources. Oh my god, look how tall it is. The x-axis is, or sorry, the y-axis is completely blocked. And now can't jump, goes under. At least a little, I guess there's still a little bit of the low profiling features left in Testament's 2K. Not quite the low profiling beast it used to be in the past for sure though. OTG into summon a couple of little friends, the low fish, and then the D projectile combined with the RC. There was so much junk. And let me tell you, Metadona's Dizzy is so much better than from, I think, from the last we've seen. I think from my memory, Metadona's Dizzy used to be more on the maybe intermediate side previously, but now we've reached peaks like no tomorrow here. mastered the character. We fine-tuned our craft. And now this is where we are in this modern day. Ooh, that was a nice looking jump, but I think Metadona chose to not press any button there to jump in with. Understandable, for these jumping buttons are kind of crummy, if you ask me, compared to whatever Testament is working with, at least. Like Testament, they have some jumping moves. Jump K for the cross-ups, jump heavy from the standard jump-ins, jump slash for the air-to-airs. You got it all. And looping some good old Grave Reaper form H. When you get the full charge, I think it's still plus on block, but... Ooh, got them trying to press the Ks! And Oxa, with some couple of really high roller reads, takes that round in a really flashy fashion. But the Ice Spike, so fat in its hitbox. Fatter than your mom, I swear. Got the plus frames from the chestnuts. This is one of the reasons why Dizzy is so good at looping pressure when she gets close range. Demands FD for sure. Ooh, that's a punish, but not enough plus frames. Even from an instant air dash air button, Dizzy, like, unless I believe unless she goes for like an FDC, her frame advantage is just not that much. Even if you do get a hit, you would have to get like a counter hit to be able to go into anything relevant if you don't do like an FDC. Ooh, nice little attempt to hold your air momentum so that the jump D projectile would expire. But it don't! Breaking out of the corner though, Metadona forced to use the burst if you want to keep the opponent in there. Oh, into that fish! A clearer little 1-2. That was kind of cool. But teleporting into frame advantage. H-Grave Reaper checking the jump out. But now Metadona with the opportunity to mix it up or potentially just... Nice! Nice. Instant air dash over the 2 heavy. Oxa tried to control the ground, but both players have had these really great hard reads. And not just on the jump-ins either. Go with the frame trap, the little mic, as we say in the industry. If you've been following the Guilty Gear Plus R scene, you got the big mic and the small mic, and yeah, Dizzy taking after her mother a little bit with those. Speaking of the mics, this could maybe be enough, not quite. And Oxa able to Abare out of that situation with a classical 6B. Misses with the first 2D, teleport a little too early, misses with the 6 heavy as well. Desperately looking for a connection, but not finding any. So Metadona ends up sort of struggling, like stumbling into a win on a silver platter of sorts. You remember that one meme from The Office where I forgot his name, the handshake one? It's like, congratulations, you won the round or won the game. It's like, huh? How did that happen? Oh, that's a good reversal though. Putting Metadona in the corner. Oh, nice moves there. Big counter hit from the shimmy, and now it's almost a done deal. Yeah, Metadona kind of forced to spend the last juice on the wire C. Oh, wait a minute. Hold chat room. Hold. Oxa does have the burst though if shit hits the fan. Or maybe a couple of icicles. Who knows? Okay, there we get the trade. Oof, wow, that was kind of important for Oxa to be able to hold on to those burst resources. Starting with a big sweep off the floor. Able to block the ice spike as well. Even if you are a relatively far range character in Testament, you are sort of not exempt from the sort of the usual busy matchup of momentum where sometimes you have to dash block. Cool hit there for Oxa, but not quite able to convert it. Didn't have the stain state that time, nor the meter. Ooh, the low altitude air throw though, sending some Pog and Champ. And able to convert still, that's so cool. From the far range hit, Oxa opens it up after a couple of annoyingly dropped games and rounds here. Able to put herself on point, or on the board now. Started with a close slash, looping the chestnut. Nice IVFD. That's one of the options that you can use to basically push a Dizzy out of the looping plus frame pressure. You do have to do something. Ooh! Metadona went with the big heartbeat and sent the icicle on full screen while Oxa was running forward. Are we still alive? Big damage coming in. Cashes out. Still alive somewhat. Oxa has the meter, drifts forward. Did we see? Yep, some button was pressed there. And combos into a damage ender, unfortunately. And has to, in the follow-up situation. Ooh, that's a good hit, though. The whip punish there on the slow starting too heavy. The good hitbox as well. Oxa. Able to roll with the punches. Still has 50 tension ready to go. That's a close slash counter hit on the airborne opponent. Looking for one more hit. Ooh, that was a really sour spot looking like 5 heavy. Or is it like, yeah, I think it's like all of the hits of the 5 heavy have to connect successfully if you want to get the freezing effect of Dizzy's 5 heavy in. And without it, you could potentially like look at a situation where you just can't combo into anything, especially of like far range hits. Curse is applied. Okay, interesting way to defuse the situation. And Metadona dashing in with punishing. And now mixing it up. Enabling wings. Make you trade for Oxa. I guess somewhat. Can't afford to trade way too badly anymore. Anti-air is there. Attack on the throw for Metadona. Creating that situation again, getting the curse, which is immediately disabled. Oh, that was a great jump. And empowered by the 50 tension that Metadona had in the follow-up situation. Like, I think from the angle which Metadona connected that jump in, unless that is a counter hit, or unless you spend the 50 meter into it that Metadona did, I don't think you can convert it as Dizzy. Right? The high risk jump in ends up paying off and forcing Metadona to spend the burst. Oxa spending hers as well. Ooh, projectiles inbound, but Metadona goes for an air matrix dodge, avoiding the obstacle course. I think this combo successfully, so Oxa can break it, bring it to the corner. Couple of options how we want to end. Wall break is the desired outcome. Gets it with a curse as well. There we go, and from the simple 2P, threatening the kill. Needs one more Arbiter sign. The quick dash forward. Screws up the tracking of the higher Arbiter side there. Yeah, moving forward at high speeds is a really nice counterplay against Arbiter signs. Ooh, trade. Neither player can afford to do so anymore, but Metadona finding the counter hit with the frame trap. Ooh, speaking of counter hits, can we convert? Yes, indeed. Into the corner, 1/3 of your life gone. Probably one of the better things that you could hope for to happen as a testament from a round start. And more good things going in for Oxa, teleporting to the other side. And more shenanigans. Ooh, just sends the big mic there, cleaving the whole screen and catching Oxa. Oh, I think this is gonna be enough. Testament is one of those characters who are like not in the high guts category and not in the high defensive modifier category. Never mind, never killing. Like I said, that's never gonna kill. The gamma ray is never gonna kill. I told you guys the gamma ray will never kill. Gamma rays don't kill. They're peaceful little rays. But you know what is not peaceful? Metadona's approach to this set. We're going in hard with the 5-1 so far. And now the pressure. Lots of pressure on Oxa to make some sort of adjustments. But what those adjustments be, I don't know. I think one of the things that Metadona is doing really diligently and very bravely is dashing forward and screwing up the sort of the tracking of those arbiter signs. Again, look at that! That thing keeps happening. Because like the layer one like presumption is that Dizzy wants to start the fireball war, right? Which Oxa probably wants to answer with an arbiter sign, but then instead Metadona, against all expectations, is just bravely dashing forward, screwing up the tracking of the arbiter sign, and playing himself in like really good positions where you can actually punish the recovery of those arbiter signs. Thank you for joining my TED talk for this matchup analysis between these behemoths. Wings. The 2K is there, ready to be punished, and Oxa gets around. It feels a little bad being so celebratory for one round, but I mean, Oxa is like desperately grasping for like some branches here, some straws, like anything, in order to get value, to get like the last the rounds. Don't get me wrong, the rounds are extremely even, but Oxa needs some sort of like little push, little amount of oomph. Some magic. Something. Once again, a really nice jump in from Metadona. Unfortunately, the lackluster jump ins from Dizzy's angle. There we go! Conversion. Misses with the up Grim Reaper. It's okay. Keep the momentum going. One more hit. Oh, but I think it's Metadona again. Yeah, from that trade. Well, that wasn't even a trade. That was just a raw, unadulterated ice spike action coming from Queen Dizzy. Yeah, I mean, where Testament players have the arbiter signs, the ice spike is really fast as well. Now the only opportunity left for Oxa is the prospect of a sweep. The counter sweep must begin. Right meow. Unless the future looks extremely doomed for Team Testament here. Ooh, that's sexy movements. However, the jump 2K, or sorry, the jump K is a little hard to convert unless you have either the curse or pension to burn. And set point, is it gonna be right here where the where the substance enhanced crackhead player Metadona unleashes the last wrath? So far, the round looking pretty good for Oxa here, going through the wall with the curse as well. Ooh, that's a big one. Metadona, the backstep, nullifies the pressure as well as the curse. What is there left for Oxa to do? Blast frames, Oxa tries to challenge, no good though. Usually the stuff that you have to do is push the Dizzy player away from the pressure. One hit, dash blocking into the ice spike. That's so good. That's good. That's what we need. But that's not enough. That's only the beginning. That's only the basics of the matchup. Gets tagged by the pillar. Oh no. Here comes Metadona again. Merciless. Blast frames. Long range. mix-ups, setups, set play, Metadona style. Deflect shield does push him away for a little bit. But the frame advantage, the life advantage is definitely on Metadona's side. Unleashing the burst here. No more burst resource reversals here. 100 meter as well. It could be Gamma Ray. It could be a Gamma Ray angle. If Metadona finds the hit, but it's Oxa who finds a double dipper here into more pressure. That's not plus though. Into a super. Don't even need it. Metadona has cleared it. 7-1. Oh my goodness. What performance. Better than I've ever seen this man play before. Let me hype this up some more. Last when I saw of Metadona, we were definitely not at this absolutely high level of play. Now, we're somewhere in the stratosphere. It's like, when was the last time we saw Metadona on Bounty Hunters? It can't have been that far in the past. Let me see, before we wrap this up, let me see my data sheet. So last time it was in fact last year, at the end of last year. And between that and now, my goodness, there has been so much improvement for Metadona. I dare say that's probably one of the better Dizzy performance on European scale, probably. That is crazy. Okay, well, it do be how it do be, and Team Testament unfortunately has to go down tonight. And that marks the end of this week's Bounty Hunters. We're gonna return back next Sunday as well. If you want to join the fun, you know what to do. Join the Discord, fill the sign-up forms, and we'll try to set you up with a nice little FT7 match of with an opponent of the same skill level as yourself. It has been another pleasurable evening to cast. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Let's see, how about we see if there is any Guilty Gear action going on the Twitch side of things to send you off somewhere nice. We got the Frenchies playing. We got let's go raid Blink. Blink has been like up and coming on the commentating front recently. And hosting some really cool events of herself as well. So send some love for the link here as we wrap this up for this Sunday. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. Till then, stay safe, play Guilty Gears, check out maybe Avatar as well. Send free challenges. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Managed to get in.